my name is Rap. This is my new video about WarFrame. Today I'm playing with Limbo. Well, I'm still trying to decide a few things in this build. Well, I opted for primate continuity. It's a mix of duration and strength. I decided with primate continuity, primate flow, okay. Since I'm using primate continuity and 14 points narrow-minded, I used transcendent fortitude to have 55% of strength and remove 27 of duration. I'm using stretch only to balance the minus in narrow-minded, and well, fortitude here. I was going to use streamline, but fortitude is a must with short-footed, especially because Limbo is a skinish frame, so I have to avoid being grapple, knock it down as much as possible. So I opted by not using streamline and leave fortitude here with combination of sure-footed. I know that some people like to use handspring. Handspring, it's an instant recover, but I still prefer to not be knocked down. So sure-footed also all by itself also prevent a lot of that, not much, but if you use fortitude with sure-footed, well, even in a sequence of knockdowns, if you go to the ground one time, it's too much. So to me, in this frame is a must. Mostly because I find that very annoying. Not challenge at all, only annoying. I'm going with the Attica. It's a very underrated weapon. Believe me, it's a very good weapon. At this point in this build, I have corrosive, but I'm going to change. I'm going to make one in C viral. Right now I'm going to leave this way. I don't want to lose much time, but I'm going to do a viral build here, and I'm not using heavy caliber because heavy caliber ruined the accuracy of this weapon. And believe me, serration, shred, even that you don't have piercing caliber isn't a must, but if you have, you won't miss heavy caliber, believe me. As my secondary, now I'm playing with Detron. I love this weapon, mostly because of combinations of damage. I use many times radiation with viral, radiation with blast, radiation with corrosive. This weapon lets you play with damage, and it's, to me, it's one of the most fun weapons to play. Mostly because its default damage is radiation, and radiation in combination with other damage, sometimes you get a hilarious a hilarious outcome. So if you don't have Detron, you can use the normal Detron. I use Detron because, well, right now it was my last weapon farmed, so I farmed Detron very soon when it was released. So right now I'm playing with Detron. I was playing Grenade, that's why it have corrosive here, but since I'm going to play Void, I'm going to leave the corrosive the same way. Okay, now my Diriga, I only use these two abilities. I don't use calculate shot. I use these two abilities because it helps when the enemies come too close. I use animal instinct because of the loot and enemies. It's not a big radius, but it's helpful. Sanctuary. Then I think one thing that I think it's very important. if there is a sentinel that it works use steel fiber is Diriga, because Diriga have very few shields, a maxed redirection leave Diriga with very few shields, but it have a lot of health, so it works use steel fiber. Of course this build is a 5 former build. It take a while, but believe me, Dirige changed completely. It gained a better survivability even for Tower 4. Even for Tower 4 missions. Of course that the bombard still is a big threat to Dirige because, well, they do a lot of damage in Tower 4, but with this build you have your Dirige at max. I was trying to use only 4, but since I wanted to use Animal Instinct max it, I had to use 5 formers. But if you don't like Animal Instinct, if you for instance put here spare parts or self-destruct fired up, you can't, because if you put fired up you have to use another former. But if you remove Animal Instinct and use for instance self-destruct, this is a 4 former build. It's a less one former. I forgot to say that in Limbo, I'm also going to talk about it. Limbo is also a 4 form build to use sure-footed. If I didn't use sure-footed, or if I don't want to use the exile slot, it is a 3 former build. I formed the survivability slots and narrow-minded. The defensive slot, sorry, I made a mistake. Okay, Attica is a 4 former build also. It comes with a V, so I put here this one, and these two. Detron is also a 5 former. Well, this is if you want to use maxed mods, you have to use these forms. There's no way to go around. If you count only with Hornet Strike and Magnum Force, Magnum is 14 points, Hornet Strike 14 points, the multi-shots are 11 points, and then these cards of Elementars 11 points. So if you want to build that full max range, it is a 5 former build. A 4 former build, you cannot use this card. Okay. Diriga now. I'm with the Sweeper Prime. Sweeper Prime, it's a 2 former build. It's good because Sweeper Prime also brings 2 V points, so I only had to form these 2, and I have the build because I'm using the normal point blank. I don't have a primed point blank for the Sentinel, and to be honest, I don't know if I will ever make a primed point blank for the Sentinel. I already tried mine that I use in my shotguns, and the difference is it's not much, and believe me, it's a lot of trouble to max the primed mod, so I'm going to leave this way. And another thing, if I wanted to go for the primed, possibly I will have to use another format, but I'm not sure. Okay, it's all. I normally I prefer to use this duration build in Limbo, mostly because of his abilities. Well, I'm going to do Tower 3 sabotage. I prefer a duration build in Limbo. It's mostly because of his abilities. For instance, right now, like I said in previous videos, I use Loki to farm a lot because of the full invisibility build. I don't want to lose time in combat. I just want to finish the mission, so invisibility is a big help to achieve that. But with Limbo, it's even more hilarious because I'm not going to use it because my build is for duration and I have to wait it ends, but I only need to use this second ability. Go, for instance, in capture missions, I use the Limbo second ability, go at my pace to the target, and when I reach there, I wait if it didn't drop it yet. I wait that the ability finish, I capture the target, then I use the ability again and go at my pace to the extraction. And I don't need to worry about the enemies. This is very good, especially in Tower 4 missions. If you want to farm only for primes and don't want to combat, or you have lots of keys and want to do the missions more quick as possible, Limbo, it's very at par with Loki because its ability, even that you don't have a full duration build, this ability takes much more time with this build that have less duration than Loki. It's mostly because most people that didn't play with Loki probably don't know, but the invisibility in Loki was stealth nerfed. I know that because the time I play with Loki in capture missions every day, and one of the tanks when I took a break in WarFrame, one of the tanks that I noted difference in Loki invisibility is it takes less time with the same mods. I don't know how to explain, but I had exactly the same build that I had before I stopped playing in April I think. When I returned playing now last month, when I start playing again, the first thing I noted in Loki is with the same mods, because I was using the same build, I stayed less time invisible. For instance, in a capture mission, at first, since the target is very near you, I would cap the target and I will only lose the invisibility almost at the end of the mission. Now you reach the target, you cap the target, and a short after you have to deploy the invisibility again. And it's using exactly the same mods. Narrow-minded. The difference is in the previous one it had continuity. Now it have prime continuity that even have more 25% of duration. So it's even more hilarious. I'm saying stealth because I was looking at the patch notes and I didn't saw nothing about Loki or about narrow-minded or about any mod of duration. So that's why I'm saying stealthy, but I'm not sure. It may be talked about in some dev stream or other place and I didn't saw, so I'm throwing this a little bit to the air. But that is different, it's different. That I'm positively sure. Because I left exactly the same builds on my frames, and Loki, it was a big difference in the time I need to deploy invisibility again, even with a full duration build. Because I remember that one of the tanks players, and mostly players that didn't play Loki, complained is how Loki could do a mission almost invisible, using only invisibility one time. and I remember those kind of threads a lot on Warframe forums. So right now you don't need you have to do, for instance, a syndicate cap mission. I have to use invisibility at least 3 times. Well, it depends of the length of the mission. It's true, but it's different. And here and in Limbo, you don't need the same cards, and you have almost the double of the duration that Loki have in terms of invisibility. So right now, if you only want to farm, if you don't want to lose time in combat, Limbo is a very good option to do that. And you don't have much trouble. You just need to run, wait, because usually the target is very near. At the start of the mission, you just have to wait that your ability ends, capture the target, and deploy the invisibility. The ability again, go to extraction, no worries. Okay, I'm first going to look there. I always look for the caches before I go to the mission. This is always helpful if you are in a tough situation, and it happens a lot, not only in this tier, but also hikers in situations, especially with bombards, that they surprise you, and the rift is very helpful to run away from that situation, because when you are in rift you cannot be damaged by the enemy, so I always use that when I'm in a situation that I'm about to die. At least, for instance, now, if I had very few health, this would help me to run away from this situation. And the good thing is that I had a nullifier there to stop. Wow, I'm talking and now I'm lost. This map is very big, but oh, second cache is here.
We found a second cache. My readings indicate one more.
I'm breaking these things because in the last yesterday and today I found a rare cache, and those caches give 2 formas or 1 forma each cache. So now when I do sabotage, since I have to look for the caches, I always break this. in a better way, only to don't get lost in the map, because backwards I made a mistake and I should have go to the other side, because I always look the maps in a sequence way, first to not miss any place, and especially when the maps are very big, it's helpful. Okay, now I'm gonna see this one. Like I said at the start of the video, this is a very underrated weapon. Believe me, if you put a few farmers in this weapon, and you will see that even not using heavy caliber, you won't miss it, because the weapon does a lot of damage. Even that you go a little further, where enemies have more armor. Like I said, I made a mistake in the previous and left a part of the map without being explored, and the cache was there. Now I have to turn back. So I'm going to use this to be more quick. I don't want to lose time. Fire there. So. Okay. Go first this way. I'm gonna camp here. Now, this is the reason why I don't use heavy caliber, because in this weapon will mess with the accuracy, and I think the weapon becomes broken. It's my opinion, of course, to me. It's like the meter. You have to point a little a little above to to hit there. So I think these weapons that have 100% accuracy, usually heavy caliber ruins the weapon, but but I think it's a matter of option because, well, I have friends that still use heavy caliber in these kinds of weapons, so it's all about choices. To me, honestly, I can't play with them. Okay, it's not here. He's upstairs. I'm listening. So okay, it's here.
All caches discovered. Time to shut down that portal.
Now I always do this. First, I even that I go to extraction and turn back, but I first look for the caches and then go do the mission. Okay, now I can use this because I don't want to take more time. Ah, it's It's very fun to play this way when I play capture because I pass by the enemies, and the only thing you have to be worried is with the nullifier because, well, you are running, you are not planning to use your weapon, and if you pass a door and go in front with a nullifier, he will disable the ability, and all the enemies that are there, like right now, he disabled the ability, and I can receive damage. Now, since I'm reaching to the objective, I'm not going to use it again.
The portal only allows travel in one direction. Start up the portal generators to reverse the polarity. They're on to us. Protect the generator console until the process is complete.
What an idiot. I was seeing this. I didn't want to use a cipher, but I always use ciphers in Tower 3 or Tower 4. I always use ciphers because it's very cheap. The guy was there with this thing in front. Even so, it still was able to kill me almost. this is those dance that are very cheap. But well, I could use it as cipher. I already know how these missions are, and this is the kind of thing that it's our fault. We can complain about the aimbot because well, it's the big advantage of the Grenier is the aimbot that they use. They hit scan. It's no matter where you are, if you jump, the bullets always come to you because it's scripted to go to the player. So there's not much to do about it unless, of course, if we are moving from one side to the other, is always better than staying on the same place. But when doing these missions, especially alone, if you have ciphers, use ciphers. I didn't want to use a cipher, and that cost me a life because, well, I could press escape, but it was all so quick that I was trying to hand. And this sometimes is what I find hilarious. I make missions. Well, I was going to say something, but I make missions and don't have problems in missions, and then I lose a life doing such a superfluous thing. Well, I miss it. I wanted to use the banish and I used the rift plane, so it was a mistake. Now I have to wait that my time ends. It's the only problem with the duration build is if you mess using the abilities, you have to wait a little bit. I wanted to banish the heavy to go, but instead, well, there is another heavy there. I wanted to banish the heavy. Believe me, if you don't like or if you feel annoyed by the knockdown and the grapple, start to use sure-footed and you will see the difference, and believe me, it will make your gameplay much better. If you like those kind of things, well, it's not worth it to use sure-footed, because I know that there is players that like those kind of things, knockdowns, grapple. They think they spice the game, and it's fair. It's their opinion. We all like different things, but if you are like me, if you feel annoyed by that, believe me, sure-footed is a big help. And If you can use fortitude with sure-footed, it's even better because well, most of that annoyment it's avoidable because the two together block almost everything. Okay, it's all for this video. I use this build of Limbo a lot for mobile defense, sabotage, excavation. Well, you can use Limbo for any mission, but my duration build it's more pointed for defense missions, for missions where I have to protect a point, but also survival. But this is very versatile. You can use it. The only thing is it doesn't have a lot of armor, and if you go deep on missions, you have to move around a lot and be very quick to use your abilities, or you will go down very easily. It's a little different from other frames, for instance, like Sarin. I'm not going to say Rhino because Rhino is a tank, and everybody knows is very resistant to gunfire. But it's one of the things to keep in mind when playing with Limbo. Okay, it's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, see you around.